Hi, I'm Cheri, and this is my friend Susan from Stamp Creatively. This is my friend Tanya from the Wonder Basement, and I'm Cheri from Cheri's Cards. This is the third video that we've done, so if you've not seen the other two, then go find them, and then you can watch the third. Although you don't have to watch them in order, because it's not like it's a big final conclusion or anything.
It doesn't really matter. They're three independent little videos.
But we've covered shoebox swaps if you've never done a shoebox swap, and we've covered swapping etiquette if you've not done swapping at a Stampin' Up event, or if you have and you're a little unsure about it. So now I'm going to talk about what you do with all of the swaps once you have them, because it is a significant financial investment. You'll find once you've bought all the cardstock and all the ribbon, and if you want your swaps to be well done, if you put some embellishments on them, and it's a big chunk of time, so it's also a time investment, and then you cart them all there and you lug them all around, so you've got some time and some effort in them. So what do you do with them? Whether or not you make 20, some people will make thousands, 500. Some people you'll get there if you've not been to an event before, especially if you're going to Orlando, which you can tell we are. No, we really just like to get together and sit around and wear ears so we make each other laugh, because you know
everybody has
it's
a hobby.
Fun. You know, you get to be in your 50s and you're like, let's wear ears. But people will spread them out on the tables, on the floors. They'll wear all kinds of stuff. So people have lots of cards. So what do you do with all of them? So I'm going to cover a little bit if you're a hobbyist demonstrator, which I don't know that I'm real thrilled with that term, or if you're a business demonstrator. So there's a couple of different things. If you come back from on stage and you have 100 cards, what do you do with them if you just do this because you love stamping? Well, at the end of the life cycle, and you know, I still have some in my garage. I've been doing this a long time, and sometimes, you know, we'll be cleaning and we'll open a box and we will discover
a time capsule,
a color box, you know, a little wheel pad and some wheel stamps and swaps from when it was called regionals 15 years ago. So it happens. And sometimes it's fun because it's a blast from the past. But it's not the best investment because adhesive does not last 15 years in the garage. They fall apart. So to be a better steward of your time and your money, you can take them to nursing homes. And if you get card fronts, you can always just make a card and stick them to a card. You can take them to schools. You can make whole cards and package them together and give them to your grandparents or your older relatives and just wrap some ribbon around them. People who would like actual cards, who can't afford cards, give them away. You know, pass them on to people who would actually use them as a card and not as a swap. And that also goes to, we were talking about making quality cards. Make your swap a card that somebody would be happy to use. So if your swap, if it gets a little smeared and you wouldn't want somebody to give it to their grandmother, then just set that one aside and use it for something else. Make your swap something that somebody would want to give. If you have a Ronald McDonald house in your town, you could give it, you know, take a box to them. If you have, you could give it to military groups or military families. You could give it, box them up and take them to the schools or to churches. There's lots of people who you could just donate your cards to. If you are doing this as a business, which all of us do it as a business, you can use them as incentives to your customers. You can, if you spend $50 each month, cycle them through. Put 20 of them out if you've gotten hundreds of them. And if you spend $50, take 2 of my cards. Or you can use them if you do online events. And you don't have to make all of the thank you cards that you send for people who purchase from you online. If you can use some of these. And when I send my thank you cards, I often just put a post-it note so they can be reused. But you don't have to. You don't have to make all of them. You can use your swaps. The other thing that I do, and we often go to the events together, on stage is so overwhelming. You will see so much stuff. So often we don't look at our swaps during the day. Like when we get our swaps, we don't even really look at them. Like sometimes, I don't think when we went to Atlanta, we didn't look at them until the airport. Because you're going to see so much stuff, and you're bringing these home with you. There's really no reason to look at them until you get home, because you're bringing them home. So look at all of the samples that are there to look at. But then when you get home, or like when we look at them, when we're exhausted in bed at the hotel, I kind of divide mine up then by like, did they use blends? Did they use a set that I don't have? And kind of when you're swapping with people, you don't have to swap like with every single person that you're walking by. I tend to go for sets that I don't have. So, because if you're going to go all for sets you already own, I like to get samples of sets that I know I'm not going to get. Then I'll have some samples for those. But then I will take, what's a set? A set from, I'm only thinking holiday catalog.
The lemons.
Yes, Susan has the lemons. I don't have the lemons. So if I got 5 lemon cards for a set that I don't own, then I could have some samples of the lemon set. So sometimes if you're a business demo, think about it swapping strategically for sets that you want to have samples, because I love the lemon set and I borrowed it from her. And if you look at my website, you'll see that I have samples, but it's because I used hers. That way you can get samples for sets. Or you can look people that use a certain ribbon or people that use a certain technique and kind of pull those out at your events so you can show off that, and then use them that way. That way you are, all that time that you put into your samples, into your swaps, it's having a payoff. You didn't just waste 20 hours, because sometimes it will take you 20 hours to make these, but it's an investment into your business.
Joanne just said hello. So hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. I think she's found us from the planning place. So do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? I think that I covered most of it.
Well, one of the things when we strategically swap, we will also go different directions and get different ones. So we can take pictures.
Even though we go together, we a lot of times spread out just different places, because we don't want to all have exactly the same thing, because we work together once a week, and so we're going to probably see the same things.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Like even if we go to a local, when we were at Atlanta, she goes one way and I go the other way, and that way we know we're not getting the exact same. Which sometimes then she gets a really good one, or I get a really good one, and you're like, dang, I wish I would have went that way. But you can always take a picture. And the other thing is, you talked about it, you can post them online, but I'm always clear to say, I did not make this, because you don't want to take credit, but it's a great recruiting tool. Look, if you go to this, you can get these from other people, but you need to put the copyright, Stampin' Up copyright, and I always say, I did not make these. They were swaps, but I didn't make them. But you can use them for class ideas and put them on there. But
Heather Farnwell.
Hi, Heather. She's in our group. So I think, you guys have anything else? Nope. So we are also starting a Facebook group that's for demonstrators. It'll be a little bit different than the planning place. You can tell we've done this for a long time. So we're going to be happy to help, kind of, especially if you're going to go to one of the on-stage events and you have some questions or just some kind of stuff to help you through. And if you want to join it, it is called Creating and Sharing the Life You Love. So just go over there and we'll help you on that page and help you with some creative ideas, with some business ideas.
I have a question.
Yes.
I got one from Joanne. She says, so if someone asks to swap with you, but their card uses a set you do not, can you say no? I think that's what you mean.
You can say no. I've never said no to somebody.
Let me know if that's what you mean, Joanne.
Well, especially because I may have a customer that likes that. It may not be my style. And again, this is a great way for me to get cards that are not necessarily my style, because my customers then get a different look. So I don't hesitate to take things I don't have or I'm not sure about, because someone always loves it.
Yeah, I've never said no to anybody. I mean, I don't know. Have you been to an on-stage event before? Because it's not, I mean, if you see somebody that has something you don't want, I mean, it's not hard to walk by.
Right.
Like if you see a set, I know some people don't do Halloween, which for this we won't have Halloween, because unless they've used something for the annual catalog that was Halloween. But say if there was a Halloween and you don't celebrate Halloween, I mean, if you see them swapping, it's not hard to walk by somebody that's swapping something that you obviously don't want. Sometimes people have want your 3D item and you don't have, you're not swapping. That's perfectly fine to say, no, I'm only swapping 3D if you made 3D, or if they have a full card, if you have full cards and they don't have. I mean, people understand if theirs is a little bit more.
Yeah, she's just saying, just wondered if you ever say no thank you. Yeah, we just try to be considerate.
Just be polite.
Considerate and polite. And, you can gauge, you can pretty much read the room and see where things are coming from. And, you can just,
sometimes there are people who just make tags or small bookmarks. And if they have that and you've made a full card and they ask if you want to swap, just say, I'm only swapping full cards.
Yeah.
And that's fine because you made a full card and they didn't.
And some people, even you might say, oh, Cheri, I love that card. And, she'll start to swap and I'll be like, I'm out of swap. I don't have anything. And sometimes people give you cards, or you could give a card or a project just because, you're just being nice. So, it kind of, the do unto others is a really good way to go on this one.
Yeah, you'll end up with people giving you stuff just because they like it. People sometimes, there was one time somebody had copied very similar something that was from my website, and she said she handed me the card. It was obviously one from one of my YouTube videos, and I said, oh, that's cute, and she said, oh, it's not mine, it's from YouTube. But I put her name on the back, and I said, well, it's me. And she was like, oh, it's so cute. But my YouTube site was on the back, and then she didn't want to take my card. But I made her swap with me. But, I was getting my same card back. But she was very, very, oh, it's your card. Yeah. So, it's flattering.
She said that's very helpful.
Yes.
So,
good.
Glad to help.
Good.
Yeah, but if you feel like you've done something more and they've done something less, then I've never had anybody. But there are people who will do smaller things, and if you're only doing card fronts and somebody doesn't want to swap with you, then that's the chance you take. But I will do the same card and do some just fronts and some but it gets very, very. You're tired, and you have bags and you have cards you just got from people and cards that
Amy.
So it can be hard to track. So sometimes I just mostly do whole cards because it's easier, and I'd rather just give away whole cards than try to keep track of stuff.
Okay, I think that's all the questions. Okay. Did you talk about creating and sharing the life you love?
Yes, our Facebook page. Group? If you like and share this video, then we are doing. Your page can't be private because we have to be able to see that you liked and shared. You have to do both, like and share. You can go to Stamp Creatively and watch this swap etiquette. You can go to the Wonder Basement to watch about Shoebox, and then mine. Do all three, and then you'll go into the drawing for this cute little pencil bag that's perfect for carrying your stuff around for shoebox swaps or on stage.